Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial here on IT Tutorials. I am Josef Bodnar. I'm continuing the series of tutorials regarding to this application payroll calculator. This tutorial has the code to make the code behind this button get employee. Actually, the code will get the employee data from a database and will fill in these text boxes with this data, national insurance number, first name, and last name regard to a certain employee ID. So actually I will type here the employee ID, and after I will press the button get employee, and the code behind this button will get all this data regard to that employee with a certain employee ID, namely national insurance number, first name, and last name, which is necessary to calculate the salary for a certain employee. In order to do so, we have to create a procedure in a secure server. So let's do it. Let's put this down. I'm gonna go inside the Management Studio Secure Server, and this is the database which is linked to our application, namely Payroll Calculator DB. I'm going to expand this and I'm going to go here inside the programmability where we can create a procedure. Already I've got created these procedures, delete, update and insert employee, which was created in other video tutorials. Yeah, so let's create a new procedure. Yeah, let's remove all these things from here. All right, here you go. Okay, I'm gonna to name this procedure get employee. All right, I'm gonna to write this parameter employee ID, which has this type integer. Yeah, inside the beginning end, I'm going to use this query select asterisk. That means all the data regarding employee will be selected from this table employee, and the data will be selected according with this test or condition where employee ID equal with this parameter employee ID. All right, let's select this, click on execute. The procedure was created successfully, as you can see. Go here on stored procedures, right click and click on refresh. Now you can see the procedure was created, this dbo.get employee. Now I have the procedure, what I need inside the code to get the employee with a certain employee ID. Let's go inside the Visual Studio. Let's release the Solution Explorer. As you can see, I organize my classes, my forms inside these folders. The forms folder contain all the forms used in this application, and classes are situated are located inside this folder classes. So I need these classes CRUD. Yeah, here as you can see I have a certain number of methods: insert employee, update employee, delete employee. All these I made them in another tutorials. Yeah, you have to watch those tutorials to know what exactly I have done to create these methods. I'm using Dapper. Why I'm using Dapper? I'm using Dapper because I use less code lines than if I use Auto.net. Yeah. So I'm going to create a public method which are using this type list, which has this type employees employee. Let's make a check. Yeah, employee. Actually, this is a class which contains these properties which are regarded to a certain employee. Yeah. All right. Let's go back here. Okay. I'm going to name this method. Already I got here a suggested name, get employees. Yeah, it's good for you, for me. I'm happy with it, and I'm going to use this integer parameter employee ID. Yeah, curly brackets. Actually, I'm going to use from here this statement, yeah, because it's the same one. Just I'm going to remove these code lines. I don't need them. So I'm using this IDB connection, this interface. This is the level that the Dapper is working on this level of interface IDB connection. I create this object connection, yeah, which will store the connection with database and the string connection, what I have created in my application. In order to do so, I use this namespaces, system data SQL client, and this method SQL connection, which has this parameter, the connection string. This is the name of the connection string, employee 01TB. All right. Further, I'm going to write this if statement to check if the connection is open. In order to do so, I'm going to use this method connection dot this property state, and again I'm going to use this connection state dot closed. Yeah, if the connection is closed, then open it using this object connection. Yeah, dot and the method open. Yeah. Also, I'm going to declare a variable which has this type var. I'm going to name it output equal connection object dot. I'm going to use this method query to execute the procedure, the get employees procedure, and to return the data contained by that procedure get employee. Yeah, actually the data regard to a certain employee with a certain employee ID. Yeah, which this query method will have this type employee. All right, because this class employee, as you can see, contains all the data regarding to. Now this is the form. Really, I don't need this form. Let me to shrink this. I'm talking about this class here, employee. As you can see, which contains all the data regard to a certain employee. All these properties will store the data of a certain employee. Yeah, so that's why I need here this type employee. Yeah, all right, for this query method. Now parentheses, inside the parentheses, double quotes, the get employee procedure and the parameter which will get the employee ID, comma, new curly brackets employee ID equal employee ID, which is this parameter. Yeah, it is a type integer. Actually, this parameter will receive the ID typed inside this text box. Yeah, all right. Dot and to list method, parentheses and semicolon. Yeah, here we have an error because we have to import using this system.link. Here you go. Yeah, the error disappeared now. Yeah, and actually this method has to return something. Yeah, return. And what this method will return? We return this variable, because this variable will store all the data regard to a certain employee with a certain employee ID. Yeah, so I'm going to write here this variable output. Yeah, and semicolon. Here you go. All right, now the method was written. Now let's go on this form, payroll calculator, double click on this button, and let's write the code inside this method, which is linked to that button with this event click. Yeah, but first of all, I go up here and I'm gonna to create an object using a list. Yeah, list having this type employee. I'm going to name this object obj get employee, parentheses, semicolon. Here you go. Now I'm going to go here inside the method, which will get actually the data of a certain employee using a certain employee ID. Therefore, I'm going to create an object which is using this class CRUD. Yeah, because we have inside this class CRUD this method, which actually will return this variable output, which stores all the data regard to a certain employee with a certain employee ID. Yeah, let's go here inside this method again. All right, I'm going to call this object employee DB. Yeah, new. Okay. And now this object, which I have created above here using this list, yeah, obj get employee, yeah, equal employee db. Actually, this object. So I needed this object because in this way I will get this method get employees, yeah, get employees, and this method will return the data of a certain employee with a certain employee ID. All right, parentheses. Now I'm going to use this method convert because I have to convert to integer the ID typed here on this form, because all the text boxes, and not just text boxes, all the controls in Visual C Sharp are string type. So they have the string type. So when I'm going to type here the employee ID, that is going to be a string. So I have to convert the string to integer, because here I'm using inside this method this parameter which has this type integer. Yeah, so that's why I have to do this conversion here to integer. And here I'm going to write the name of the employee ID text box, which is this one, txt salary employee ID, and I'm going to use this property text. Yeah, all right, semicolon. Here we go. Now I'm going to use the if statement to check if this object contains records. Yeah, so therefore I'm going to write this condition bigger than 0. Yeah, the container of this object must be bigger than 0. Otherwise, I'm going to write here else, which will display a message. Yeah, but first of all, let me to go inside of if statement. If this test is fulfilled, yeah, that this object obj get employee will contain at least one record. Yeah, that means I'm going to use this for each loop, and here I'm going to write another name. like employee D, and here for collection I'm going to use this object obj get employee object there. All right, and here I'm going to write the name of the text boxes which are going to receive the employee data, namely takes the salary first name dot text equal employee D dot first name. Here you go, semicolon, takes the last name, salary last name dot text equal employee D dot last name, semicolon, takes the payroll salary Nino, takes the dot text equal employee D dot Nino. Where is Nino? Is this one. All right, semicolon, and here inside the else statement I'm going to write a message, error message. So I'm going to use a message box show method parentheses double quote no records found with the ID plus txt salary employee ID dot text comma double quotes again error message comma message box buttons dot OK and message box icon dot error, semicolon. All right, and I think it's a good idea to put all these statements inside the try catch exception block, in my opinion. I'm going to use here catch parentheses curly brackets, and let's select this and let's cut it and put it here inside the try block. All right, let's use here the exception class, create this object ex message box, and this will return another error colons plus ex dot message. So this is all. Actually, now I can release this application and let's see if it's working. Here you go, no errors so far. Let's get the employee form. Let's get here a few IDs. So we have this 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 4. Let's type this. Okay, let's go back to dashboard, payroll. All right, let's type here 1 2 3 3 and click on get employee. Here you go. Here is the employee with this ID 1 2 3 3. This is the insurance number, first name and last name, and I'm going to calculate the salary for the pay for this employee. So this is the idea to get the employee, these data about this employee, because we need this data in order to be able to calculate the pay for a certain employee. Let's type another ID. Let's see if we have this employee with this ID 1 2 3 4. Click on get the employee. This is another employee. Let's see if I type like 111 and 2. Let's see if we have this employee in our database. Get employee. No records found with ID. So this error message, actually it is this code line. All right, And now let's go back to dashboard. Let's release again the payroll calculator, and let's leave this empty. Click on get employee. Let's see what is wrong here. Something is wrong. Yeah, we have here an exception. Let's see what this is all about. Yeah, all right, let's stop this. The problem is we have to put this line inside the try block. So let's cut it and let's put it here inside. Let's save and let's release again. So that's why we received that exception, yeah, because we have to put this code line inside this try block in order to avoid the exception errors. All right, let's put this down. Let's see now payroll, and let's leave empty this employee ID text box and click on get employee button. Here you go. Now we receive this message error, input string was not in a correct format. Yeah, so actually this is this code line, yeah, inside this catch block. Yeah, and actually this is a pre-defined message which exists inside the Visual Studio, and using this exception class we get this message. Yeah. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I'm going to continue this series of tutorials regarding to this application payroll calculator according with my available time. Thank you for watching this. See you next time. Bye bye.